Hello, everybody, and welcome to Purveyors of Health. Special guest with us today is Ric Adams. Thank you for being here, Ric. Ric is a global sales director at Dell Technologies and an anxiety warrior and health advocate. He will be talking with us a lot about the importance of mental health and so many other things. So, Ric, without further ado, we would love to hear what it is that you have experienced and what all you want to share with us today.
You got it. Thank you. I appreciate that, Mallory. Angelo, thank you both for allowing me to be part of this tribe today. I really appreciate it. You know, Marty and I have been involved with Purium for about 5 years now and enjoying the benefits of Purium. And the first time we went to the Purium convention, I looked around and I don't have any body piercings or tattoos or anything. And I said, one of these things is not like the others. And that's this guy here. But you know what? If we were all the same piece of green lettuce, it would be a boring salad, right? So I don't necessarily fit in. I'm a corporate guy, live in Texas, you know, and I'm probably different than most people you get to talk to. But you know what? I've had a health journey. I've had some things that I've gone through. You heard Marty's wonderful story, which is an amazing story, and I've had my own, and so I hope to share that with you today, and hopefully we can learn from each other, and everybody can benefit. One of the opportunities I get to work at a big company like Dell is I'm a mentor, and I also mentor a high school class of seniors. Actually, just finished with my class this year, and I'll be picking up another one in the fall. But one of my favorite sayings is, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And, you know, this journey we call life, we got to go together. And that's what we're all about, is figuring out how we go together. So y'all got to meet Marty a few weeks ago, and you got to see how amazing she is. You know, I've been partying with Marty for almost 38 years. We have our 37th wedding anniversary on July 21st coming up, and we've got 3 wonderful kids. Our daughter, who's 36, and has 4 sons. So we have 4 grandsons from her, and then our son Ricky, who's about to be 34. He has 3, and so that's who we're up here with, is with Ricky, and then our youngest son Bo and his girlfriend Julia. We're just having a nice time. So one of the opportunities I get to do as I mentor people is I'm also participating in this program that's called STEM. If you haven't heard of STEM, STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. It's specifically for girls, but there's a lot of boys that are participating in it as well. And about 2 years ago, I got a chance to go down to University of Texas at Dallas. It's about 20, 30 minutes from where Marty and I live, just north of Dallas. And I walk into this auditorium that's full of hundreds of 8th grade students. And I am many years removed from 8th grade, either my kids or myself, of being in 8th grade. But I had an amazing experience I want to share with you because it was such a learning experience. And it's this. I walk into this auditorium and I sit down, and my job that day at these tables, round tables with 10 kids at each table, is to ask them questions and to try and inspire them to get involved in careers that are involved with science, technology, engineering, or math. And so I'm asking them each questions. Hey, who wants to be an engineer? Who wants to be a physicist? Who wants to be and I didn't get anybody raising their hands. I mean, they were poker facing me. I was trying to come up with questions because we all know selling is not sales, right? Y'all know that. I'm a director of global sales for Dell, and selling is asking the right questions at the right time. And it's up to us to figure out what the right time is and what those right questions are. So here I am with my toughest crowd in years, right? I've got accounts on my team that include Walmart, FedEx, General Motors, Ford. We've got the biggest of the big companies on my team. I deal with these folks all the time. These 8th grade students were my toughest crowd I've ever faced. But I stumbled on a question, and this question is an amazing example, and I learned so much from that. And here's the question. Who wants to change the world? Every kid raised their hand. So here's what I learned. Here's what I want to talk to today. Here's who I want to talk to today. I want to talk with your 8th grade self. Okay? The reason I want to talk with your 8th grade self is because each of you have gone through high school. Maybe you went to college. You've grown. You're out of the nest. You're all what you're living your life, right? Whatever it is you've done in life, you're well beyond 8th grade. And here's the thing. Life beats that 8th grader out of you. You get to the point where you are in life today, and maybe you don't feel like you can change the world anymore. So today, I'm talking to 8th grade you when you think you can still change the world, okay? That's what I want to go through. So let me start by sharing my philosophy. I believe you hear all these things about health, and I love that name, Purveyors of Health. Initially, people think it's about physical health. How do I feel physically? Am I free of dis-ease? Am I free of any challenges? Am I free of that so I can live my life and be physically healthy? And the reality is we have 4 areas where you have to have balance in your life. 4. That is financial health. Say what you will. If you like living in the van down on the beach and you don't want a job and no money, that's fine. But the reality is money buys you freedom. I'm not saying that that it's the most important thing on the planet, that all you need to be focused on is money. That is not what I say. You need to have a balance. All of these things are a balance. Imagine you've got a tray and you're carrying a tray with 4 glasses of water on it. And that water is evaporating faster than you can fill it up sometimes. Your health, financial, physical, emotional, and spiritual, all have to be in balance. If you've got 3 of those glasses full and one of them is empty, that tray starts tipping and big problems really start to happen. How do I know this? Have you ever heard of a show called Celebrity Rehab? That's the most beautiful people on the planet with the funnest jobs on the planet and have a ton of money. And guess what? They don't have their emotional health, or they may not have their spiritual health or something. They're out of balance. So let's talk about how we balance all of these 4 areas of health. And I think it's really important that we have those in balance. The first being financial health. I already talked about that. We're not going to talk about that today. And by the way, I've got 5 new people that I'm mentoring at work. 3 of them are women, 4 of them are minorities, and I get a chance to talk to them about things. And when they come in to mentor with Ric Adams, they think, all right, I get to talk to the guy that has negotiated $10 and $100 million contracts with companies like Walmart and FedEx, General Motors, ExxonMobil, Ford. And guess what we talk about? Financial health, physical health, emotional health, and spiritual health. Those are the areas, because if you don't have that, you're not going to be happy. And the purpose of this life is to be happy. So let's talk about each of these real quickly. Spiritual health. You've got to believe that there's something greater than us out there in the universe. Because if not, what's the point of this crazy life? Just to try to achieve an 850 credit rating and get a college degree, and then we live and die. What's the purpose of this world? So you got to believe that there's something that's out there that's bigger than us. Emotional health. And that's one we're going to talk about the most today. You need an inner circle of people that like you and know everything about you and still like you. I'm not talking about mom and dad, your siblings. They're always going to love you. I'm talking about a group of people, whether that's 2, 20, 100, I don't know. You define how big your inner circle should be. But you need an inner circle of people that know everything about you, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and they still like you. When you have those people in your life, cherish them. Do not chase them away. You've got to work on those relationships and keep them. And these are the people that tell you that your breath stinks when your breath stinks. Okay? That's your inner circle. Don't get offended. Don't chase them away. Let's keep them around. That picture that was on that flyer that was sent out was taken at the top of this trail outside of Grand Junction, Colorado, called the Ribbon. The Ribbon is this 3 or 4 mile long piece of granite that you can ride on your mountain bike, and it's an amazing adventure. That picture was taken by a guy on my inner circle named Scott Brook. And Scott Brook, who I've known for 15, 16 years, is my inner circle. He tells me when my stuff is out of alignment, and I love him and cherish him. The other aspects of it are your physical health. You've got to have physical health. If you don't have that, nothing else matters, right? We all know that. Angelo has gone through his health challenges. Marty's gone through her health challenges. I'm going to tell you about a couple of mine today, which I have found fascinating. You know, until Marty went through her episode where we were walking out of UCLA one day, and she looks at me and she says, you know what? I think I can beat this brain tumor with nutrition. I was like, what? What are you talking about? We just left the top doctor on the planet saying you need to have brain surgery and radiation and all this stuff. That's what we need to do. What are you talking about, eating lettuce to fix this? What's the matter with you? And you know what? She proved me wrong, and she proved that doctor wrong. And because of that, I have started to look at what are some things that are going on in my life and what can I do different. I've come to find out there's not a pill for every problem on the planet. There's a lot of things that we can be doing. So let's talk about that today. All of these 4 areas of health, physical, financial, spiritual, and emotional, are all connected. But emotional health is a journey that I have had to focus on. It's the glass on my tray that emptied out the fastest. And I'm going to tell you why that happened and what I've done to help correct that and to hopefully fix that. So let me start with my story. I was born in Napa, California. My dad was in the Navy. We went right after that when I was 2 years old to Honolulu. During the Vietnam War is where we lived in Honolulu. It was a great place to live, I guess. I was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I mean, I was on an adventure like every 5, 6, and 7-year-old. My dad gets out of the Navy. We live in Long Beach, California for a while. He gets a job. We transfer to Dallas, Texas. I'm 13 years old. I've got long hair. I'm riding skateboards. I'm used to doing all sorts of fun stuff. We moved to this place called Lewisville, Texas, and I go to high school. My first day of high school, my high school is the home of the fighting farmers, okay? I go from Southern California to the home of the fighting farmers in Lewisville, Texas. My first day of school, this kid, Bo Childers, tells me all the things he had to do, his initiation, to get onto the rodeo team. I could not have been further from that world if I had been on another planet. So I learned that you had to adapt and you had to fit in, and I learned how to fit in, and I had a great upbringing. I had wonderful parents. When I was about 10 years old, we lived in Covina, California, San Gabriel Valley. And we're all playing in front of our house, and my 5-year-old brother, who's the youngest, I'm the oldest of 5, this teenager comes along, and he knocks him off his skateboard, and he takes his skateboard, and he takes off running down the street. And my mom comes running out of the house, and she's running down the street like a track star chasing this kid. And she gets him, she pushes him off my brother's skateboard, she takes the skateboard back, and we can see her pointing her finger at him and, telling him whatever she told him. I mean, she was so far down the street, we couldn't hear. So my mom comes walking back with the skateboard in her arm, and me and the neighborhood kids are all cheering, wow, my mom's a badass, look at that. My mom gave me a gift that day. Here's the gift. Hopefully you've gotten that gift, and hopefully you've given this gift. I knew that my mom had my back. When you have somebody, that's powerful. When you have somebody that's got your back, you're invincible. You can do anything when somebody's got your back. So, years go by, I get married, meet Marty, we get married kind of young. And about 2 years into our marriage, we have a little girl. I lost my job. I'm feeling sorry for myself. I can't find a job. I'm feeling the pressure of providing for my little family. Marty comes up to me one day and she goes, look, if we lived under a tree in a box, I'll still love you and we're going to be together. So quit feeling sorry for yourself. Get out there, grab the world by the throat and own it. So that's what I did. I had 2 strong, amazing women in my life that had my back. And to this day, I feel invincible. So for years, I had healthy outlets for the stress that I was getting in my life. And those outlets included racing motocross, playing golf, outdoor adventures, all sorts of stuff that I had. I had a great life growing up, and I have a great life now. But I felt the pressure to provide for my family. And here's what's interesting about pressure. All the pressure that we have is self-induced. Sometimes people will try to throw some stuff on you, but you only put in your backpack what you allow to put in your backpack. And I have a stressful job. There is the pressure to perform. I've been at Dell for 19 years. I have a $500 million a year quota that my team has to provide. We have 13 accounts. Okay, so I have to go sell $500 million worth of stuff to 13 companies. That's it. I can't go pick up other accounts. I can't go sell to other stuff. So the pressure is there. But you know what? It's not my company's fault that there's pressure. It's not my boss's fault that I have pressure on me. Everybody has pressure. You don't think policemen, first responders, fire people that respond to somebody, a life and death situation, doctors, everybody's got pressure. People that work at a retail store and deal with the public, talk about pressure. Everybody's got it. So here's part of my journey that I want to share with you today and what I hope you can learn from. I internalized the pressure, the stress that I was feeling on a daily basis. I thought I had a good outlet. I thought I had things that would help me handle it. But I was just masking some things. My job included flying 100,000 miles a year all around the planet. I've had the nicest of dinners in Paris, London, New York, Brussels, Belgium, Monaco, New York, San Francisco. You name a place, I've had a beautiful, wonderful dinner there, great experiences with customers, and establishing good relationships. I have tasted the finest life has to offer. Then last year with the Rona, things got turned upside down. I went from flying 100,000 miles a year and staying in the nicest hotels to 8 to 10 hours a day in my home office. My life and my world completely changed. So over the years, as I was dealing with this stress, I started to develop this little condition, kind of nagging, called atrial fibrillation. Atrial fibrillation is when your heart goes from 72 beats a minute to 172 beats a minute in about 2 seconds. It sucks. You get lightheaded. Life is just not fun. The risk is not heart attack. The risk is actually getting a stroke, where the blood pools in your heart, you get a blood clot, it goes to your brain, and Marty's planning my funeral. I didn't want to live like that. So I started doing some things that could help me manage my stress. Started listening to soft music. I like listening to AC/DC in Boston, and I'm a kid of the 70s and 80s, right? The louder, the better. You know, if you haven't lost your hearing by the time you're 65, it's not loud enough. So that was my life. So Marty started coaching me. He's like, you got to settle down. Let's calm down. Let's get a routine. Let's get a practice in place. I started doing some of those things. It helped a little. I met some Purium folks. I told them, hey, I've got atrial fibrillation. They're like, you need heart aid. I'm like, okay, I'll take heart aid. Well, you know, tell me to go lick a pine tree, I'll go lick a pine tree, whatever it is. I mean, I'll try anything, because having atrial fibrillation sucks. So one of the solutions, one of the things that they do is what's called a cardioablation. A cardioablation is where they go up a vein in your leg, go up inside your heart with this little device. They've got this big HD screen that's sitting next to you in the operating room. And they basically start to cauterize the nerve endings in your heart that are causing it to go into a muscle spasm. I didn't have blockage. I didn't have a problem with the muscle of my heart. I had an electrical problem. Think about that. My cardiologist told me I had an electrical problem. The reality was I had a stress problem that was manifesting itself in my heart. I had a stress problem and I wasn't managing stress properly. So I had this procedure done about 4 years ago, and it fixed it for a little while, but it came back. And the doctor told me, well, here's what happens. For about 75% of the people that have atrial fibrillation, we cauterize the nerve endings where the pulmonary, that's the veins that come from your lungs, go into your heart. And usually for about 75% of the people, that fixes the problem. You're the 25% where it didn't fix the problem, so we have to go back in. I had that procedure done on June 18th of last year. Today is June 17th. So a year ago today, I was getting ready to go in for a procedure that's changed my life. So the doctor said, this may be 2 or 3 hours that you'll be under, and then you're going to, come out and you'll feel a lot better. You're not even going to have to spend the night in the hospital. 6.5 hours later, I finally came out of surgery. And the doctor said, this took way longer than we thought. It was way worse than we thought. And we're going to have you spend the night. I spent one night in the hospital. So I was in the hospital for 25 hours. The price tag was $405,000.
Wow.
So as you talk to people and they say purium is too expensive, or organic is too expensive, or whatever, I can't give up my Starbucks because I just can't make that decision, or I can't give up my sodas, you can tell them a simple heart operation that most people don't even have to spend the night costs $405,000. That's a pretty nice house in most cities. So fast forward to January 3rd this year. I told you my life was turned upside down with the coronavirus. Probably happened to each one of you. It's touched everybody on the planet. I think I'm doing pretty good. I'm dealing with things. My AFib is gone. I'm walking. By the way, I told the doctor, I said, you get 2 months for synthetic drugs. You get 2 months. I'm going to do my part. I'm going to ride the hell out of my mountain bike. I'm going to walk however long I need to walk. I'm going to do whatever I need to do to get this ticker going. You get 2 months. He had me on Eliquis and flecainide. Eliquis is a very strong blood thinner. Flecainide regulates heartbeat. It manages the electrical pulses in the heart so that you get a steady heartbeat. After 2 months, I went back in. Dr. Joshi, who has the personality of a dirt slug, I said, Dr. Joshi, you fixed me. Give me a hug. He says, not today, not today. He fixed me, though. He really helped me along. So after 2 months, he said, he looked at Marty and he said, with your diet, with everything that you do, and you continue to listen to her, and I'll take you off the synthetic drugs. So as of middle of August of last year, I've taken no synthetic drugs. Okay. And guess what? I still don't have AFib. I have a better life than I've ever had. And so things are going great for me. That's right. Appreciate that. So then another event happened. Again, that's AFib manifesting itself physically, which happens to a lot of us. Now here's another really important lesson. January 3rd of this year, we just had a fantastic holiday season. All my kids, all my grandkids are in town. My mother-in-law is staying at our house. We're having a great time. We're eating, we're drinking, having a great time. Everybody's having power shakes. It's just a bonanza. January 3rd at about 3 in the morning, I'm having a nightmare, feeling like I'm suffocating. I wake up, Marty's right next to me, snuggle up against me, which is nothing new. She's been doing that for 37 years. And I got a full-on panic attack. I just feel like somebody has put saran wrap over my face and put me underwater. I can't breathe and I'm freaking out. And I'm thinking to myself, what the hell is going on? I'm used to being in control. I'm used to being, people come to me for decisions. I don't go to other people to ask for their opinion on stuff. I'm used to being the one in charge. And for 3 days, I'm getting up at 1 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning, 5 in the morning, walking 2-3 miles in my neighborhood. I'm hoping my neighbors don't have their Ring cameras on and see me walking by, thinking, what the heck is Rick doing? Dude's walking, he's walking 10 miles a day, all different times of the day. But I was not in my right mind. Here's what I learned. If you ever struggle with anxiety, depression, panic attacks, those all come from the limbic mind. We have 2 minds. The limbic mind is the back of our brain. It's our caveman brain. It's what sets fight, flight, or freeze. Doesn't that do a pretty good job of describing anxiety, depression, and panic attacks? Fight, flight, or freeze. A baby deer freezes when a predator comes around. It's programmed. Its limbic mind tells it, do nothing. Don't do anything. That may serve that well. If we're standing in front of an alligator, freeze is not the right mind we need to be in. We need to be in flight, right? So here I am. How do I get out of fight, flight, or freeze mode? And anybody who struggled with this knows, and I now know and have a testimony of it, you can't just make a decision. You can't just say, you can't, if anybody comes in your life and says, what's the matter with you? You're thin, you're good looking, you got a good job, why are you depressed? You can't just make that decision. But here's the good news, and here's what I learned. You can train your mind, your parasympathetic mind, your logical mind, to be stronger than your limbic mind. That's the good news. That's what I've learned. And this is what I want to share with you today. So first thing I did is I called my friend John, who's on my inner circle, happens to be Dr. John Stedman, who oversees 30 or 35 different hospitals around the country and of emergency medicine. I said, John, I'm losing my mind, bud. Help me out here. So you know what he prescribed me? Sinus medication. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, if we have people come into the hospital with a panic attack, we prescribe them Vistaril. Look up Vistaril if you want. All it is a strong Sudafed or Benadryl. Why? Because it calms the central nervous system. I took one of them. I fell asleep for 12 hours. I'd been awake for 3 days.
Wow.
It calmed my nervous system. It got my limbic mind to take a back seat to my parasympathetic or my logical mind. This is some pretty powerful stuff. Many of you may be shaking your head going, yeah, Rick, how it took you this long to get that figured out? But this is something I just learned a few months ago. This is amazing. It's almost like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, right? Now that kind of stuff makes sense to me. I get what people are saying when they say that. So now, what's next? I've got to come up with a way to prevent me from getting in fight, flight, or freeze mode. In other words, I have to exercise my parasympathetic, my logical mind, to be stronger than Mr. Hyde. So how do I do that? Here's a couple of things that I do. About this time, I started seeing emails coming from work about meditation. Now, I'm one of those guys that I'd see that and go, yeah, that's okay for the guys that look like Angelo there, the beards and, the kumbaya dudes. Next, I got 150 emails right behind this one. I'm done. So I saw this email and it came from my company and it said, hey, if you're struggling with anxiety, depression, or panic attacks, try meditation. I'm like, wow, I'm not the only executive at this company that may be struggling with this. Maybe I'm not alone. So let's give it a shot. So this dude from India or Pakistan gets on and he takes us through this meditation and, we do what's it called? A mind inventory, a physical inventory, and tighten muscle and loosen and go through and all. It was awesome. I really enjoyed it. Guess what? I meditate every day now. Every day. It's part of my regimen. I have to do that. It keeps my parasympathetic, logical mind stronger than my limbic mind. So another thing I realize is walking for me is what I have to do. When I start feeling something come on, I start walking. Guess how far I have to walk? I got to walk at least 3 miles. Why? Because my mind doesn't calm down. I'm not in the moment sometimes until mile 2. That's my magic number. Once I hit to mile 2, then I can start my walk. And then I do another mile. 2 is even better. So when I'm doing that and I'm walking, I get that rhythm. I get my lymphatic system cleansed, detoxing, getting that stuff out, getting the sunshine, all the natural things I need in my body. It's good for you. Do it every day. Make time to do it. So, meditation and walking. Marty and I have been enjoying the benefits of Purium, like I said, for about 5 years. And along the way, as I said, I had many people say, Rick, you need to try Heart Aid. Guess what? Heart Aid is a great product. Heart Aid is not what I needed from Purium to help me. Here's my cocktail. Here's my Purium regimen. I do this every day. I start every day with a smoothie that includes Power Shake, my amino 23s, coconut milk, because coconut milk has lots of good fatty acids in it and lots of good fats. Not fatty acids, a lot of good fats that are in coconut milk. About 1/3 coconut milk, 2/3 almond milk, and I drink one of those every day. Then If you're not taking the trash out, by the way, my power shake includes 3/4 of a scoop of the daily fiber, because I've gotten my body to the point to where a half a scoop or 3/4 of a scoop takes the trash out at least twice a day. So if you're not getting 8 hours of sleep, this is your foundation, by the way, 8 hours of sleep, take the trash out. Those who may not know what I mean better be pooping twice a day. Making sure that you get the proteins that your body needs, and take your biomedic, get rid of all that nasty glyphosate that we have in some of our foods. No matter how hard we try to get rid of that, or not eat foods that has that, sometimes it just gets in your system. Make sure you got those 4. That's the core 4, right? Power shake, amino 23s, fiber, apothecary. Then here's the 2. Instead of heart aid, CBD. And here's the key, another key, revive it all. Revive it all helps calm the mind, helps increase circulation. It helps, it helps, it helps. 1 in the morning, 1 at noon, 1 in the evening. My stresses in my life have manifested themselves physically in me, in my heart, and in my limbic mind taking over. But if I do my walks, if I exercise, if I do those things, I have not had a single panic attack or anxiety happen since I have gotten this figured out. Of course, with the help of my beautiful bride, she's the one that helps me with pretty much everything. So meditation, another thing that Marty suggested to me that I really like is restorative yoga. So a lot of you, I'm sure, do yoga. I think it's wonderful, but you use yoga, you use your muscles to hold a particular position. It's very good for you physically. It's physically demanding. Restorative yoga is almost like it's meditation in certain positions. So restorative yoga is where you would use pillows or blankets or different soft items to hold you in a particular position, maybe recline back with your chest opened up, your legs opened up so that you can relax, and it helps to calm your mind. Restorative yoga is for your mind. Physical yoga is for your body as well as for your mind. Walking, grounding, all the things that you all know how to do, and drink water, 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 water. If you're still drinking sodas, good God, people. I haven't had a drop of caffeine or a drop of alcohol in over 40 years. Well, I've had caffeine a little bit, but you know, sodas are the scourge of this planet. You got to get those out of your system. And caffeine is your enemy. It's not your friend. I say this, I'm a high energy guy. I get up every morning and have my smoothie, like I said, and I've got plenty of energy throughout the day. I don't have to keep up with people. They got to keep up with me. So drink it every day, drink water. Here's some other secrets to success, to happiness. Go on vacations with people you love to do stuff with, and do stuff every day that you love to do. Let me tell you a story called Candles in the Attic. There's a story about this grandmother that passed away, and all her family got together and they started clearing out her house and getting everything ready so they could sell the house. And they go up in the attic, and what do you think they found? All those beautiful candles, all the china, all the stuff that they gave grandma over the year that she treasured. So she put it up in the attic to save it for that one day when it would be good to use. Don't do that. When you get a candle from somebody, freaking burn it right there. Light it up. If you got china, serve peanut butter and jelly sandwiches on your china. Don't save anything for a rainy day. Today's the day. Okay? So do stuff every day that you love with people that you love to do it with. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. We're a tribe. No matter what tribe you're in, and we're all in multiple tribes. You got a tribe at work, you got a tribe at home, you got a tribe with your yoga buddies, you got a tribe with your mountain biking buddies, with your golfing buddies. We all have different tribes. But the reality is if you want to go far, we got to go together. It's one of the reasons why I love being a mentor, is because I get to take advantage of the things that I've learned over decades of business and decades of life and give back to the people that are in line behind me. Because the reality is, for each one of us, is we're standing on the shoulders of giants. We are. This world, this beautiful world that we live in, didn't happen because of us. It happened because of the people before us. And we got to be able to take care of it and take all of our lessons and hand them back to the people behind us. So let me share one final thought. I'm going to close with this. And you got some homework. When I mentor you, you come away with homework, okay? This isn't going to be one of these things where I spout around for 45 minutes and everybody goes, hey, great, good job, Rick. You got some homework. You got to put this into action. And I'm going to challenge you to test me on this, okay? I'm going to challenge you to try this. Got two homework assignments. The secret to happiness, if you want to find yourself, lose yourself in the service of others, you got to give it away. Anybody know that Chili Pepper song? Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Okay? Here's what I mean. Next time you go out to eat somewhere, hopefully it's a good, clean, organic restaurant, and you get your bill, and it's $5, $15, $20, I don't care what it is, whether the server deserves it or not. Okay? This is not for you to judge anybody. When you get your bill, you pay them 100% tip. 100%. When you walk out of that restaurant, you're walking down the street, I want you to put a big shit-eating grin on your face. You smile like you're a freaking model, okay? Because you are a model. And here's what's going to happen. Now, if you look like a psycho killer when you smile, maybe work on that smile a little bit. But smile, and the first person that you make eye contact with is going to do a double take, and they're going to smile back. And the person behind you on the street is going to see them smiling, and they're going to smile. You're going to give 20 people a gift when you start smiling. Only confident, strong, happy people smile. And after you smile for a while, you're going to start to believe it. And you're going to start to believe what you believed in 8th grade, that you can change the world. And you can with a smile and 100% tip. And when you do those two things, watch what happens to your life. Because you're not giving, here's another little secret. You're not giving that server a gift. You're giving yourself a gift. Give it away. It'll come back tenfold. You got to give it away. Your knowledge, your money, your smiles, give them away. And that's my story. I'm happy to take questions. I'm happy for anybody to challenge me on any of this stuff if you want to challenge me and say I'm out of my mind, but that's my thoughts on this.
You're out of your mind, Rick.
I am.
No, I'm just kidding. You're great, man. That was one of the most powerful testimonies I've heard, man. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much.
Well, I appreciate you letting me be part of your tribe today. Hopefully this helped each of you out. Go back to 8th grade when you can change the world.
Rick, I listened to every. Unmute for 1 second and tell you how much I love you, and that was the most beautiful thing ever. It's exactly how we are all living by. We all continue to grow in this beautiful dimension that you've created for us today, and we're just gonna make it 110%.
Love it.
I love you.
Thank you.
Can
Rick, thank you so much. First of all, I want you to know that you are not just a part of our tribe today. You are part of our tribe always. It's an honor to have you here. And it was really neat getting to do that Zoom call with, you and Marty and Angelo and I, just getting to know what you were going to speak on, because it was a little different than most of the guests that we've had. And I think it's important to have a variety of perspectives, right? We're not just trying to reach one type of person. Everybody deserves better health. Everybody deserves to hear a voice that resonates with them. And I think that you have a voice that resonates with a variety of people. And I'm so happy and honored to have been able to listen to you this closely. And I know that everybody else that gets to listen to you as well is very fortunate, because there's something about, there's like a hug in your candor, and it's so appreciated and valued. So thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. All right. Well, everybody's available to get in touch with Marty or me. I'm happy to answer any questions, but you know what? We got a wonderful life, right? This is a beautiful world full of beautiful people. We're a very colorful salad. Let's not change that.
Thank you, Rick. That was extremely powerful. I really appreciate you, man. And God, the simplicity that you taught, you know, that's basically the basis of my work. Just getting people moving, getting them out of their body, getting out of their mind and into their body, some good nutrition, and getting out of the bad stuff and taking out the garbage, baby.
That's right. I appreciate it. Well, I like your work, Troy. I appreciate that.
Well, God bless you, my friend. I'll bring you on my platform. I want to interview you as well. That's a powerful story. And
Cool.
so,
You got it.
Angelo, make sure we're connected.
Absolutely. Thank you,
All right.
Troy.
Good stuff, man. Thanks.
Thank you.
God bless.
This is importance of telling your story. And Rick, you have the way you tell your story, it shows that you are thoughtful about, you know, how you constructed it and how you delivered it. It's not just something. We all have beautiful stories to share. We all have, you know, triumphs and tribulations. We've all had some health issues. We're Americans, so of course we all have. But
right.
we live in a sick society. But the way you articulate, man, and the way you deliver it, it's very, very powerful. And I want you to continue to tell that story to as many people as you can, because it is going to change lives continually. Thank you.
You got it. You got it. Well, thank you all. Appreciate your examples and everything that you do, and for accepting my beautiful bride and me into the tribe. We love it.
Yes.
We love you, brother.
Thank you, Rick. You have encouraged me, and I'm sure everyone else, and you and your beautiful bride complement each other so beautifully. So I'm so glad to meet you today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, well, y'all have a great one. I'm going to go squeeze some grandkids here and enjoy this fresh mountain air up in Idaho. So,
All right. God bless. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thanks,
Thank
Take
you,
care,
Rick.
y'all.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Rick.
Bye now.
Woo.
Bye.